Hi, good morning. Welcome to my channel. This is Dan, and this is my channel, Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. Please have a look around. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And to all of my Patreon subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing over at my Patreon page. If you're interested in supporting this channel monetarily through a monthly subscription, you can do so by going to patreon.com and looking up Engelgeist 333. That is my Patreon channel. There's all sorts of different things like voting polls and special readings and things like that that are available over there to you if you'd like. Another way you can support the channel is follow my Instagram at Engelgeist333, or just like this video, share it out, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, or like my business page on Facebook, and hit the notification bell wherever you do choose to subscribe. That way you get notified when I go live and I do free card pulls and things like that. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, and you can also book a free reading with me if you are not a free reading, sorry, a personal reading with me, a paid reading. That can be done via messaging me at the business page on Facebook or direct messaging me through Instagram. Okay, and let's get into the forecast. This is the daily forecast for Thursday, the 12th of March. But I do believe that this is a message for the greater collective, for the highest good. Therefore, it is a timeless message and can be used at any time that you're viewing it. So if you're seeing this and it's not March 12th, May 12th, it's not March 12th, that's okay. You might be ready for this message at this time. So it's not necessarily set in stone that you have to watch it on March 12th, okay? This is just giving us a little idea of where we want to focus our intentions, our energies. It's sort of like our spiritual forecast for the day, our energetic forecast for the day. So let's see what the cards have to say for us. Interesting. The Five of Swords. Five of Swords to me sometimes represents like conflict. Generally, as a rule, it's usually, let me just double check and see what they say in their deck, because sometimes they change. Yeah, it says often mistakes and hardship, brute force, sometimes with destructive consequences, strength through persistence versus overambition. And possible losses through acting purely in your own interests. So when I look at this, I look at the beauty of that rose going through in the center, right? This rose here. And when I look at all of these swords kind of running through this rose, it's kind of like, to me, the rose represents the frailty and the beauty that is us, or maybe our spirit. The growth and the delicacy that is in that rose, right? The opportunity for beauty and growth. And these swords, I feel like they're wrapped around it and running through it in an effort to sort of protect it, right? But what's happening here is we're actually sort of cutting off our nose to spite our face. This is an interesting card because yesterday we had that beautiful Emperor card, and we had that Four of Cups in the midweek from the Sunday forecast, right? So we're still kind of in the midweek, and why we're at this Five of Swords sort of challenges me in some way. I'm not exactly sure where we're heading with this. It feels like some of us might be struggling with our thoughts. Some of us might be trying to protect ourselves a little bit more through fearful thinking. That's definitely like these swords around us, like kind of almost drawing boundaries and barriers so that people don't tread across us or offer their input in a way. And then these three swords here feel like they're actually pinning down the growth of this rose. They're almost diminishing the beauty of the opportunity that Spirit has to kind of come through today. Now, this card does not necessarily mean that this is what's going to happen to us today. This is a card that's telling us this is your forecast for the day. So like with a weather forecast, when we watch a weather forecast, we see snow or rain is coming, inclement weather is coming, we plan accordingly. We leave the house a little bit early. We maybe take a different route. We do what we need to do to sort of accommodate for that weather. So to me, this card doesn't necessarily say that we're going to have a bad day. What it's saying is that we might have a situation where we find ourselves getting up in our head. We may find ourselves being critical of ourselves, pinning ourselves down, limiting ourselves in some way. It did say something about gaining pursuits through purely self-interest. There could be some of that, but I get more like, to me, I feel like this rose is sort of almost in pain. Like the rose is being pinned down, right? Through our own thoughts. We're almost limiting our own self, our own opportunities. So when I say this, this is something to reflect upon this morning and be aware that this could potentially happen to those of you in the collective that this makes sense to. This card may not represent with everybody, okay? But for those of you that maybe are overthinkers or tend to be analytical, also my air signs, my Libras, my Geminis, my Aquarians, you guys are naturally, in that air element, which is this Swords card. Be mindful of where you're placing your thoughts, how your thoughts might be affecting your growth, how your thoughts might be affecting your opportunity, or your ability to see your own sort of worth and beauty and trust your sort of deeper intuitive self. To me, this feels like the mind has a potential to kind of win. I feel like also this is a card that we're utilizing to kind of protect ourselves for some reason. Maybe we're in a little bit of fear. Maybe we're in a little bit of worry or doubt, self-doubt. And so we're trying to protect that rose by pinning it down, by holding it in place, by not necessarily allowing it to sort of be harmed by others. But what we're really doing is we're boxing it in by accident. So be mindful of that for some of you guys. The strength of the mind is very, the thoughts that we have is very important with this card. We need to be aware of the thoughts that we're thinking and the limitations we might be placing on ourselves through those thoughts today, okay? If you find yourself overthinking something, stressing about something, worrying, and it's like kind of limiting you, then you may want to sort of think about this card and kind of find a different approach, would be a good word. Okay, let's see what the universe has your back has to say. Wow. When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. Jesus. Okay. So this is definitely about you guys being up in your heads. This is definitely about, it says like, when I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. It's like we think that we're protecting ourselves. We think that we're doing the right thing here, but what we're actually doing is we're limiting ourselves or putting ourselves into a corner by trying to protect ourselves, by believing that we could potentially be harmed, by believing that we could potentially be, make the wrong choice, make the wrong mistake, that sort of thing. We're allowing sort of fear to lead our decision making today, or there's a potential for that. So we need to surrender to sort of, to me, this is that, that wish flower that you blow and all the little pieces fly off when you make a wish. To me, this is about like whatever our wishes are or our dreams are, we can trust them. The beauty of this rose says to me that we can trust them, but our egoic mind wants us to pin it down and make it more solid or safe. That doesn't feel safe. If we go after that goal or that dream or that possibility, that doesn't feel safe. I feel like we need to surrender to those wishes, to those desires, to those dreams, right? And we need to sort of open ourselves up even more. This flower is actually even more delicate than this rose. We need to make ourselves handle ourselves in a even more delicate nature and kind of throw caution to the wind. This is all about trust in ourselves today, guys. This Thursday is all going to be about trust in ourselves and the possibility of having to maybe quiet the mind. I don't know how many of you meditate, but through meditation, quieting the mind and surrendering those thoughts that might be sneaking in under the guise of, I'm trying to protect you, I'm trying to keep you safe, you're not safe, you're not this, you can't do that, you can't achieve that. We need to let those go. And when we think we've let them go, we need to then again even surrender more. right? And really truly let go and let our spirit, like this would be more, this rose and this flower here is more that element of the spirit, trusting that to carry us through this, wherever these little tendrils may blow off in the breeze, right? So let's see what the grounding stone has to say. So today's grounding stone is believe. I really think that this means that we need to believe in ourselves today. We need to believe in our own capability. We need to believe that we can do it. We need to believe that from our heart, guys, from our the depths of our soul, we need to believe that we are safe. We need to believe that we are creative. We need to believe that we are beautiful. We need to surrender to those thoughts and continue to surrender to them even more and more and more, and believe in them more deeply and more powerfully than we ever have in the past. This belief is going to be powerful for us to get through these trying times. Those of us that might be struggling, we're struggling even more so because of our own thoughts, are like, I just feel like this Five of Swords is telling me, like, I'm coming in trying to help you. These thoughts are trying to help you. These fears are trying to help you. We're trying to keep you safe, but it's not the truth. What's going to keep us safe, or what's going to sort of free us from this, is sort of believing in ourselves, surrendering to our own internal knowledge, trusting that knowledge, even if we don't have the answers, even if we don't know where these little pieces of this flower are going to land when we blow on that wish, or we blow on, and we start to chase that dream, or we start to create that the goal, or start to take steps towards it, not knowing the full answer. We sort of have to relax the egoic mind and these thoughts of like treachery, fear, self-doubt, and believe in ourselves, believe in God, believe in our higher power, believe in our spirit guides, believe in the angels, believe in those, invite them in and ask for their assistance to show you what you need to know, right? Or what you need to do, and have faith in that. This would be a good day to do that. I'm sorry, my dog's snoring in the background. It's early here in the morning. So this is your forecast for the day. I hope it makes sense. For those of you that it does, please leave me a comment. For those of you that don't, that's okay. It's just maybe not your forecast. I mean, it wouldn't hurt for you to just surrender to what you know to be true, and to believe in yourself. That's always a good message for anyone. But for those of you that might be struggling mentally, this is about like really handing over that struggling, staying aware of it, and when you slip into it, kind of trying to remove yourself out of it and believe in yourself. Okay? Believe in the powers around you that have gotten you this far. Even if you've struggled to get this far, you've made it this far. So something is out there helping you, right? It's your own spirit, really, but you have to touch that. You have to come into contact with that. You have to surrender to that. And then when you think you've surrendered, surrender just a little bit more, okay? And you can surrender through that belief. All right, you guys, that is your forecast for the day. I hope that it makes sense. I hope that you enjoy it and it helps you. It gives you a little foresight into what could be going on today. Again, this is just a forecast, so we do have the power to manipulate these energies and these cards, to be aware of them and kind of steer ourselves clear from them, okay? We're not stuck in any sort of trouble here. This is just this card is definitely a little bit of a warning. Don't limit yourself through your own thoughts in an idea of keeping yourself safe or protected. There's almost nothing to be protected from. Okay? So that is your forecast. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.